Was having a boyfriend really embarrassing? Let's talk about it. So I'm referring to the British Vogue article that came out. I'm a little late to the game, but I wanted to share my perspective as someone that's in a long-term relationship and someone that's also a relationship and couples therapist. So I'm going to tell you why I personally loved this article and why the content in this article needed to be said a long time ago. Because let's be real, having a boyfriend is not inherently embarrassing. That's not what the article is saying. And if you're getting offended by it because you're in a relationship, then you need to reevaluate and reassess what your priorities are and try to unpack why it's so offensive. So the reason why I found this article so fruitful is because it opened the door to a bigger conversation. And that is heterosexual women decentering men and deprioritizing relationships as a whole. It does not mean you don't go out seeking love. Wanting love and seeking love is completely natural. We're human beings. It is also completely valid. But the problem lies when you become a girlfriend instead of a girl with a boyfriend. And this isn't some like mind-blowing take. A lot of people have probably heard of the differences between the two. But somebody who is a girlfriend makes being in a relationship their entire priority and makes being a relationship their entire personality. They don't tend to showcase the other amazing, interesting, fun, unique parts of themselves that are really vibrant and really show outside of their relationship. Who are you outside of your boyfriend? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? What are your passions? What do you do for a living? Who are your friends? Why are they your friends? What do you like to do with your friends? Tell me about your family. Tell me about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, right? There is so much more to you than being in a relationship and your boyfriend. I hate to say it. And this article really talks about how back then, especially in the 2010s and the early 2020s, having couples content and posting your boyfriend was seen as a status symbol. It was a huge, I guess, flex, if you will, to have a boyfriend and to post your boyfriend. And now there's been a huge shift. There's been a shift from glorifying couples content and being in a relationship to now glorifying being single and owning being single. And the reason why I find that so amazing for women is because, one, there needs to be a time where we destigmatize being single. And I'm so glad that that time is now. And why do I say that? Women inherently bring a lot to the relationship, and you rarely see men center women the same way we center men. They see their jobs, their careers, money as a status symbol, whereas we see them as a status symbol. And when we start to glorify men and when we start to center men in relationships, now we are the ones chasing. We are the ones lowering our standards just so we can finally have that status symbol. We are no longer focusing on the longevity of the relationship, what is sustainable and what is actually healthy and good for us, because as long as we have the girlfriend title, it's all fine and dandy. And you then become the 40-year-old housewife that finally thought she got what she wanted. She has the white picket fence, the husband and the kids, but then realizing there's something fundamental missing in her life. She didn't pick a partner that was sustaining and that was healthy and that brought value into her life. She just picked a partner, right? That gave her what she believed was a higher status simply for being a girlfriend or at that time a wife. The other thing that the article did not touch on, but I wanted to, talk about a little bit more in this video is how this may positively impact female friendships. Because one thing that I noticed, and I'm sure many of you guys have noticed, is that with some women, I'm not going to say all women, but with some women, they will get into a relationship and then suddenly that's their whole world. And they will decenter their friends, decenter their life outside of that relationship and that partnership and completely invest in their relationship and disappear, essentially. And speaking from experience, not being the girlfriend that did that, but by being the friend that was left behind, that can tarnish and has tarnished so many relationships, so many friendships. Because there is a reality where you can have a healthy balance of your partner, your friendships, and conjoining the two and having space for both. And I feel like there's a lot of women who they attribute their value to their partner, to their boyfriend. They attribute their value to being a girlfriend and being in a relationship, and suddenly everything else doesn't matter. And now the only time that those friendships have any sort of value or meaning or purpose is when the boyfriend is no longer in the picture, aka a breakup or a really bad fight. And that can be a problem. if we can learn to, again, still value our relationships without making it the center of our life, we can, in a healthy way, hold space for different relationships in our life, our family, our partners, and our friends. Because let's be realistic, you don't want to just have your friends on the back burner until they're convenient for you. Not to mention, your partner is not going to be all things for you. I say this to my clients all the time. Your partner it's impossible for your partner to meet all of your physical and or emotional needs. Just like it's impossible for one friend to meet your physical and your emotional needs. It is so healthy to have a healthy support system. A variety of people, doesn't need to be big, right? But just more people in your life outside of your partner to meet those needs. And it's important to invest in those relationships just the same way you would invest into your boyfriend. And if women don't, again, decenter men and decenter being in a relationship, men are not going to be incentivized to try harder, to work harder, to be better. They're just not, right? Not to say that it is our fault entirely. I think both genders need to do their own individual work in order to create a healthy, sustainable relationship. But this is the role as women that we play in that. We cannot make that the prize, that the end goal. It should not be the center of our life. It's just an added feature to our life. With that being said, as a person that has been in a long-term relationship and as a person that loves and values my friends, they are my family, I loved this article, but would love to hear people's thoughts.